So today I'm here with Julie. Julie and Cameron bought their house a little over a month ago. First time home buyers, and the average age for the first time home buyer is 40, and you are way younger than that. Won't disclose your age unless you want me to, but just wanted to share kind of your story and the process and anything that you want to share with the people out there that are younger that are thinking about buying a house. So thank you for doing the interview with us.
Excited to be here.
What made you take the leap from renting to buying?
So we were in a little like townhouse situation before that. I've been renting for like the last 6 years since I started college, graduated from college, decided to go on and get my master's degree. I've been renting, and the prices have just been going up and up and up every single year. And so whenever it came down to looking at the price of like a two-bedroom, two-bathroom apartment and what a mortgage would be, they were like right at the same amount. And Cameron threw out this idea of, well, why don't we just buy a house? And I was like, are we even old enough to do that? Like, is that even a possibility? And so, I mean, we just took the leap for it, and we're here now. So it worked out.
That's awesome. What would you say the most difficult part of the process has been?
I think just being able to make sure that we were set up to actually buy the house was like the biggest thing. Like we had worked on our credit scores and everything probably like a year in advance, not because we knew that we were going to buy, but because we knew we were building a future together. And, at some point we were going to have to, take that jump into that future. And so we raised our credit scores up like over 100 points to get to a good point. We made sure that we had savings, and we really just wanted to set ourselves up for whatever we decided to do, and that just ended up, being buying a house.
What would you say the most difficult part and unexpected part of the process was?
I think, well, first of all, the amount of people that you get introduced to during the process, like we would get a new email like every morning and be like, "Hi, this is so and so. They're going to be doing this and they're going to be doing that." Next day, now you've moved on to this. You're going to be doing this, and I'm like, I didn't even know that there were that many steps into the process. And so it did get really scary once we started getting towards like the underwriting, and just this whole time you don't really know what is going to happen if you do get the house or if you don't until you do sign those days. The day that we sign until we do sign those papers. So the day that we signed those papers was like the day that we felt peace.
Yeah.
Because like we were like, okay, the house is ours. It's done. Everything got passed.
Yeah, you can take a breath. That's like
Mm-hmm.
actually when you can finally celebrate when you're at
Yes.
the closing table.
Yes, yeah, we came home and we popped our little champagne bottle. It was a good day. A lot less anxiety.
So tell me how you got started with navigating the financing process, house hunting, convincing your parents that you were mature and old enough
Mm-hmm.
to buy your first house. Tell us a little bit about
Yeah, so I am 24. I'll let you guys know.
that.
And so, I mean, I'm still like a very young adult. I'm still navigating life, and even though I do have a college degree and stuff, like I still like have a hard time, you know, accepting that I'm an adult now and I can do these things. But I do love to confide in my parents a lot because they're, my support system. And so, I wanted to make sure that like I was going to be making a good step and that they would be okay with that, and I wanted them to guide me through it. And so I thought the best way to do it was to make a PowerPoint presentation for them.
And we've seen this PowerPoint. It's
It
awesome.
was great. Yes. And so we created a PowerPoint setup for them, like that just basically like knocked all the questions that they would be asking us. Like, do you even know how much this is going to cost? Like, how
Yeah.
much are you going to put down? Where do you want to live? Like, what kind of house do you want? Y'all aren't like y'all have only been together for this amount of time, and so
Yeah.
um, but we hit all those questions, and after we got to that point, I was like, hey, so me and Cameron have like a little proposal for you guys, And they're like, okay. And so we showed them the PowerPoint, and my dad was actually like, I think that's a great idea for you to start
Oh, that's
investing.
awesome.
Yeah, he was like, please, like, you start investing in your future, and like, this is great. Like, you've been renting for so long. So he completely understood, and he loves Cameron and I's relationship, and so he was like 100% on board. And he was like, well, obviously you have to use Crystal because they bought their house from you.
Yeah.
What now? Like
Gosh, it's been,
over 15 years ago.
yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I've known Crystal for a long time.
Yeah, you did my photos when I was pregnant
Yes.
with Grace.
Yes, your first set of maternity photos.
Yeah.
So, yes. So yeah, whenever we made that call to Crystal, I was like, oh, that's crazy. That just came around in a full circle.
I have to say that like you and Cameron were so great and easy to work with because you were so organized. Like I remember when we had our first consultation meeting at the office, you had all of your ducks in a row with your paychecks and your finances and your credit score, and you were going to pay this debt off. And so you definitely, I would say, are probably out of the ordinary of being so organized at a young age, which made things easier. But it is still really hard with the financing part. And we had to jump through a lot of hoops and get over some hurdles and stuff through that process, because whenever you're straight commission or there's bonuses involved and stuff, it makes it a little bit more document heavy when you're trying to proof up all that information for financing. So you guys handled that like champions.
Yes, yeah, there was a lot of things that we definitely like did not see coming, and it was really hard to prove that we were actually making money just because I'm self-employed. At that time, Cam was technically labeled as self-employed.
Yeah.
Then he just, thankfully got switched over to a different position, and so it was crazy the amount of like proving that we had to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it was, yeah, a lot of hoops to jump through, but we got through them, and with every challenge that came, we rose above it.
Yeah. And you guys had good attitudes about it, which
Mhm.
makes it so much better and
Yes,
easier
yeah,
to work with.
yes. I know every night I was like, and see, this is like a Gen Z thing. I'm on TikTok doing all the research about it. I'm like, what does underwriting mean? What does this mean? What does this step mean? Is this a good interest rate? And so I would come like with my full set of like questions ready to ask you the next day because I was just getting all this information
Yeah.
from there.
And it is a lot of information to
Mhm.
process through. And I think that's why it's so important to, have trust with whoever you've hired to help you through the process, because it is, especially when you're younger and you're getting perspective from your parents and other friends and people maybe have or have not gone through the home buying process. It can be a lot to ingest all the information and then kind of decide, is this something I should be worried about? Is this just all par for the course? It's just a lot of information throughout the process.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a little overwhelming at times, but you know, got through it.
Yeah, you got through it.